So in this video, I'm going to tell you the 3 things that I hate most about my Harley Davidson. Before I tell you everything I hate about my Harley Davidson, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm 41 years old and I've been riding for 13 years. This Harley is the 11th motorcycle that I've owned, but it's my first Harley Davidson that I've ever owned. And not only is it the first Harley Davidson I've ever owned, it's also the first Harley Davidson I've ever ridden. It is a 2020 Softail Standard. It's got the Milwaukee 8 engine. I've never ridden a Sportster, never ridden a Dyna, never ridden a touring bike, never had the experience of a twin cam engine or an Evo engine. Milwaukee 8 Softail, that's all I know. I started out on a Kawasaki Ninja 500. I've owned 2 R6s, Yamaha R6s, and have 9 track days between the two. I've owned a Yamaha R1, a Triumph Speed Triple, a Triumph Daytona 675. I've owned a couple of dual sports, a Yamaha WR250X Supermoto and a Yamaha WR250R dual sport with knobbies. I've owned a Honda Shadow 750 Phantom, and I currently own a KTM 1290 Super Duke R as my other bike. The 2 bikes I own are KTM Super Duke and the Harley Davidson. So obviously I have a background in high performance motorcycles, sport bikes. This is the first Harley Davidson I've ever owned, and I really love it. There's a lot of things I love it. And so the 3 things that I hate most about it, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and come clean here, that I don't actually hate these things. Hate is a really strong word, and if there was actually anything that I really hated, that I truly hated about this bike, I just probably wouldn't own it. That's how strong of a word hate is for me. These are things that kind of irritate me. Number 1, or 3, depending on how you look at it. I'm kind of going from the things that bothered me the least to the things that bothered me the most. So let's call this number 3. Number 3 is the front turn signal stocks. These turn signals on the front, on the handlebars, look like a total afterthought. It looks like Harley Davidson built their bike, shipped them all out, and then sent an email to all the dealerships saying, hey, we forgot to put front turn signals on. So if you just go on down to Home Depot, grab some nuts and bolts, and attach them to the handlebars, that'd be great. If you could just do that for us, that'd be awesome. Because that's what they look like. They look like they were originally mounted on the triple tree or the front forks or somewhere else, and somebody came along and was like, I want to put them on the handlebars, and they went to Home Depot, bought some nuts and bolts, and slapped them on the handlebars. If you compare this mounting hardware to the stuff that's in the back, the rear signals, it's nothing alike. The rear signals have great stocks. They look cool. They're all aerodynamic. They've got great fit and finish. And these things are like, I don't know. It's a very small thing but it is annoying. It bothers me. I feel like this should be more refined. Like, I can see it. Are those threads? I can see threads. I can see the hex bolts. Like, it shouldn't be like that. It should be like round and smooth, and I shouldn't be able to see where the wrench sticks on there and takes the stuff off, like the rear ones. So that's that. That's the least hated thing about my Harley Davidson. It's really picky. So that's number 3, the front turn signal stocks. Number 2, the second thing that I hate most about my Harley Davidson is the removable gas cap. Now I know why they make it removable. So for those of you that don't know, if you don't ride a Harley, you just twist this thing until it opens, and now you've got a gas cap in your hand. Now if you ride another motorcycle, you probably know that your motorcycle probably doesn't do that. You probably take a key, stick it in there, twist it, and it pops up like a door and stays attached to your motorcycle. All my motorcycles that I've ever had have done that, except for my dual sports. Dual sports, I mean, they're kind of in a different class. They're supposed to be inexpensive and rugged, and you know, they're supposed to be they're unrefined. But a Harley Davidson is supposed to be refined. It's supposed to be, you know, fancy. And I honestly, I understand why they do that. I know they do it because two reasons. One is they want to sell aftermarket gas caps that are really easy for people to install. And so they sell gas caps. You just take this off and replace it with another one. You can get some skulls and some cool logos and crap like that. So that's one reason they do it. Another reason they do it is that this bike has keyless ignition. So you don't stick the key anywhere. It's all done by a fob. You just have the fob in your pocket, you turn the switch on, you start the engine, and you're good to go. If the fob's not around, you can't start the bike. So you don't really use the key for anything. If people don't want to have to pull their key out, put it in there, and unlock it. Now on other motorcycles, it's not that big of a deal, because usually the key's right up here. So you stop at the gas station, take the key out, stick it right in there. You're just moving the key from one spot to another. So those are the reasons that I think they didn't make an attached gas cap with a key. Now, I would prefer if it was still attached to like a door. You know, it probably wouldn't. You know, it'd probably be hard to make it look this good. That might be another reason why they have a removable gas cap, is because if it was on a hinge, it would be, you know, wouldn't look as nice. But I really don't like it when I'm at the gas station, take it off, and I'm like, okay, where do I put this? I've got a seat that is not flat, and I'm on the side stand, the Jiffy stand. So the bike's tilted this way, and then the seat is not flat either. So I put it on there, and it just feels very precarious. Like, I feel like if a breeze blew, it would just start sliding and fall into the ground. And I'm not going to put it in my pocket. I'm not going to put it on the ground. I mean, I could. I don't know. It's just another thing to worry about. Just something that I've never had to worry about before. My dual sports were really cool. I would take the thing off and I would just wedge it in there. And like, the stuff in there, there's no shiny chrome. You've got like a motocross bar, and there's like a pad there, and the tank is plastic. So you just wedge it in there. It's fine. Nobody cares. You can scratch the plastics, whatever. Doesn't matter. I can't wedge this anywhere. I've got to set it down nicely. You know, it's got chrome here, so I want to set this side against something soft so that it doesn't get scratched. It's just like kind of a pain in the butt, and it's just something that I'm not used to. I mean, really, that's probably what it is mostly, is that for 13 years I've been riding, and I've always flipped my gas cap up and never had to worry about putting it somewhere. And now all of a sudden, this is just like an extra thing for me to think about when I'm at the gas station. So if you've owned Harleys all your life, or if you've owned Harleys for 13 years, it's probably not a big deal, and I could understand that. But coming from my background, it's just annoying. And so that's number 2, removable gas cap. Number 1, the thing that I hate most about my Harley Davidson, and I really hate this. Not hate. It really bothers me. It bothers me more than anything, is these stupid turn signals on the left and right. So for those of you that don't know, if you don't ride a Harley Davidson, the left turn signal is on the left bar, and the right turn signal is on the right bar. And if you've ridden Harley Davidsons your whole life, it's probably been like that your whole life and you're probably used to it. But just so you know, every single motorcycle in the world, I don't know, maybe not Indians or Victories or something, but every motorcycle that I've ever owned has had all the signal switches on the left. It's got a little switch. You push it right to turn on the right signal. You push it left to turn on the left signal. You push it in to cancel the signals. That's how it goes. And I'm sure that the way of Harley has had this. They've had it like this for a long time, so they're kind of sticking to their heritage, and they don't want to change. But for me, God, that is just so annoying. And it's really annoying because I'm a little bit of a smaller guy, and I've got smaller hands. And so when I want to use the right signal, like if I were just to pull my thumb like out, like I can't reach the switch without adjusting the rest of my hand on the throttle. Like, let's see if I can do this. So I have to like lift my, I just rolled on the throttle. So I lifted my palm up off the throttle so that I can reach this thing, and I rolled the throttle on. There, no, I didn't roll it on. I hit it. But now I have to like readjust, and now I'm like closing the throttle, opening it again. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. It just annoys the crap out of me. It would just be so much easier if it was all right here. Like I can, no matter how awkward this signal is, like I could take my hand off the bar and do whatever I want. I could press buttons with my index fingers if I wanted. You know, I could flip it this way or flip it that way. I could probably shift gears without using the clutch too. So let's see. So here we are. Yeah, so I don't even need my hand there for the clutch. Like this hand is totally free to do everything. This hand is busy. It's busy all the time. Right? I'm holding the throttle open as long as I'm riding. I'm covering the brakes. If I want to use this signal, I have to pretty much uncover the brakes. But what if a deer jumps out? Then I have to like, oh God. Okay. I'm gonna make an analogy for all you out there who want to defend this turn signal system. Imagine the new model car that you want comes out, right? It could be a Ford F-Series, it could be the new Ram truck, it could be a new Corvette, whatever, like whatever your car is that you like, the new model comes out and you're like, I'm gonna get that model. You go, you take it on a test drive, the salesman's in there, he's like, alright, let me tell you about the instrumentation here. So you got your, your hazard button here, and you got your AC, and this is your radio, and those are your wipers, and blah blah blah. And if you look to the left of your steering wheel, there's a little lever, you press it down, it turns on the left turn signal, and it's auto canceling. If you look to the right side of your steering wheel, there's a little lever that you press down and it turns on your right signal, and it's self-canceling. Now, if you were test driving this car and that's how it was set up, you would be like, what in tarnation? Why would you put the left turn signal on the left side of the steering wheel and the right turn signal on the right side of the steering wheel? Why would you do that? So that's how I feel. Imagine that in a car, and that's how I feel about these turn signals on this motorcycle. And that's the number one thing I hate about my Harley Davidson. And truly, it is just, it is beyond ridiculous. I don't hit it enough to not have the bike, obviously, because there's so much about this bike that I love. It's amazing. But those turn signals, why? I'm surprised. I cannot believe that there is not a company out there that doesn't make. There's not a company out there that makes a module that you can put on here so that you have normal turn signals. If there's not a company that does that, I'm gonna start one. Hey, you know, get your regular turn signals over here, and you can use this for something else. You know, your hand warmers or cruise control, or I don't know, maybe I don't know what you could do with it. You can do any number of things. Just like, oh my God, I just can't get over this. I just can't get over these signals. That's the number one thing. That's the number one thing. And I don't think I'll ever get over it either. As long as I own this bike, I'm going to be like, time to turn right. Or I'll just be like, screw it, I'm not signaling anymore. When I turn right, I'm just not going to signal. Alright. That's enough. I'm going to stop complaining about the signals. So yeah, if you own a Harley Davidson or you're thinking about getting a Harley Davidson, let me know what you think down in the comments below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And I appreciate you watching. So thank you.